Good evening. My name is Brittany Walter, and tonight I'm going to be going over my market research plan created for Adorable Annies. This presentation will contain a summary of the company, industry, and the current market conditions, as well as an introduction and the problem statement for why we want to do this market research plan. It'll be followed by a literature review of different scholarly articles that help strengthen this market research plan. I'll then be providing the primary research, which was conducted by a phone interview. I'll follow that by an analysis of the data collected during the primary research. I'll give you the limitations for this market research plan and what should be strengthened in the future to help Adorable Annie's business plan. And I will give you a conclusion of the main data that was collected during this market research plan. So, what is Adorable Annie's? Adorable Annie's is a boutique store for children's apparel and accessories that is located in Fairfax, Virginia. They're located in a strip mall with other stores, but they are the only children's clothing store. They have limited hours Tuesday to Sunday, and they currently have 8 part-time employees who assist the owners, Sally and Allison. The price range of the clothing is starting at $45, and the close competitors in Fairfax, Virginia, which are Baby Blossom, Janie and Jack, and Hannah Anderson, start at $14.95, $36, and $16 respectively. Their competitors also offer online shopping as well as maternity clothing and things such as cribs, toys, and skincare, which is not currently available with Adorable Annie's. Adorable Annie's is currently offering updates weekly on their Facebook page. They did a recent survey, and their main customers are female at 83.3%, and 41.6% are married. The majority of their customers are aged between 21 and 39 years old, and they average 25,000 to 175,000, with only 16.6% exceeding that. Per their survey they provided in store, their current customers average $0 to $10 an outfit at 41.67%, and 0% currently exceed $31 to $40 an outfit. This is showing us that Adorable Annie's is not currently marketing to their current customers, and they are not geared for their current market. To give our introduction and problem statement, they're a high-end children's fashion store that is not making profit or effectively reaching the current consumers. Adorable Annie's is looking for direction to make themselves more known and to be known as more profitable to their target market once they find out who that is. The market research plan will focus on obtaining qualitative and quantitative data through focus groups, observations, and individual interviews. By using the qualitative data to determine who the customers are as a person, their likes and dislikes, preferred style for the children, and what they are willing to pay, Adorable Annie's will be effective at marketing to them. Expanding the quantitative surveys they have already conducted to include the customers' preferences for competitors will then allow them to use secondary research to gain a better view of the competition. In this market research, we did a literature review, and this included articles regarding being an appealing store to the senses of those coming in. The model provided for another store that started off as just a one-store boutique and then transferred over into an online retail store that exceeded their profits. The sensory details provided to a consumer and how it will help up your sales. I did an article that went over the analysis of fashion boutique operations. I also read a study on the fact that younger audiences are still craving a physical store despite the fact that they do more online shopping. And I think this is really imperative for Adorable Annies as they consider making a transition into an online store, as a physical storefront is still very important. So, the primary research was done via a phone survey, and the questions asked were: how often do you typically use the product? How satisfied are you with your Adorable Annie's purchase? Have you contacted customer service? And do you feel like your problems were resolved if you did contact customer service? Based on your awareness of Adorable Annie's, is it the same, better, or worse than comparable children's brands? Um, I asked for some insight into a few things Adorable Annie's can do better. Based on your experience with Adorable Annie's, how likely are you to buy it again? Would you recommend Adorable Annie's to a friend? And if you'd like to share any comments of your experience with Adorable Annie's. During the phone interview, I presented it only to the current consumer base, which is between the ages of 18 to 39. And in the data that will be shown following this slide, I found that the younger audience was not very enthusiastic for Adorable Annie's, and they were not able to give much insight as most had not purchased. I did also notice that price was the biggest factor in not providing a satisfactory response to the questions in the survey. So, for the data analysis, I created a hypothesis that lowering the cost of Adorable Annie's products will increase the sales to the consumer market. And then the null hypothesis was the opposite, so keeping the cost the same will increase the sales. And when I went to sort this data to make it more applicable for this market research plan, firstly, I only interviewed females, as males are only 16% of the current consumer market. I then factored in age. So I noticed during my phone survey that, anyone under 29 was not really that enthusiastic, didn't really have any experience with Adorable Annie's, which doesn't really help us gain insight for the purposes of this market research. And I also factored in the variable of if they actually were a current Adorable Annie's consumer. So as you can see in the graphs provided, we have the first one, which is the frequency of use of Adorable Annie's. And you can see that the 36 to 39-year-old has two that say they use Adorable Annie's weekly, whereas 33 to 35 and also 30 to 32 have one person that uses it once a month. And in that question, no one said they didn't use it. And then the next one, their satisfaction with Adorable Annie's products. We see that no one in any of the age groups from 30 to 39 say they're delighted. The average was very satisfied. And then following with somewhat satisfied. For the question of Adorable Annie's quality compared to comparable brands, you see that the majority stated that it's about the same, and one person between the ages of 30 and 32 stated it was worse. And then the last one is the likelihood of purchasing Adorable Annie's again, and the majority is with might or might not, and followed by probably will not. So the limitations that I found doing this market research is we used a majority of people who use the product for the purpose of this market research plan and did not factor in those who had not. We do want to definitely grow Adorable Annie's brand awareness, and so for further market research, there should definitely be focus on those who do not use Adorable Annie's. It would also be beneficial to reach out to men and get their perspective. They only make up 16% of the current consumer market. However, we will be able to gain insight further into the brand and their interpretation by reaching out to men. There's not enough data at this time to be conclusive of the hypothesis that lowering the price will increase profit, but we are able to lean towards the hypothesis being accurate, just as the majority of the answers given did state that price was a big factor. For the conclusion, Adorable Annie's was created as a high-end boutique in Fairfax, Virginia. They are higher priced than their competitors, which means that their clothing starts at $45 plus. Their competitors also offer online shopping and items outside of just clothing and accessories to make them more desirable to consumers. The problem statement for this market research plan is that Adorable Annie's is not making much profit, nor are they effectively reaching their current customers. We aimed at determining what Adorable Annie needs to do to gain profits and appeal more to customers. One of the biggest considerations for Adorable Annie's business plan needs to be who is the consumer. After surveying those who are already in the store making purchases, it's been proven that over 80% of their customers are females, with $25,000 being the minimum earnings of the customer, who range from 21 to 39 years old. Fairfax itself is a wealthy county, with $51,000 being the median average income in 2016. The population itself is almost equal between men and women, and there's an estimated 12% of that population of 1,138,652 who are under the age of 12. With this information, Adorable Annie should be in the black, however, they're not. The qualitative data acquired in store and with the phone interviews began to shed light on this, which I'll get back to in a moment. The literature analysis was completed to gain insight via the academic articles and studies with struggling fashion boutiques. The conclusion from the articles provided shows that providing an online marketplace is a large step to reaching profitability for a boutique store. It allows a single store like Adorable Annie's to create awareness and availability to those who are not able to access it physically in Fairfax. Another lesson from the articles provided is that having a physical store is not obsolete, and there's still a lot of benefit in allowing the consumer to come in and physically touch your product and view it prior to purchasing. The data regarding the customer's perception of Adorable Annie's was collected through phone interviews for the primary research. During this time, some answers on why there are minimal profits in affluent Fairfax was uncovered. The data collected focused on the largest part of the market, which is females aged 18 to 39 with a minimum income of $25,000. During this, it was discovered that those under the age of 30 years old have very limited experience with adorable Annies, primarily due to cost. Further analysis of the data focused on females aged 30 to 39 showed that the current customer base is satisfied with adorable Annies, but not delighted. It also showed that 75% believe that Adorable Annie's is the same quality as the local competitors Baby Blossom, Janie and Jack, and Hannah Anderson, with 25% saying that Adorable Annie's quality is worse than these competitors. From the quantitative and qualitative data gains in this market research plan, it can be concluded that Adorable Annie's needs to make adjustments to its business plan. With the current low exposure and lack of an online store, Adorable Annie's is not set up in a winning strategy. The current customers surveyed feel that there's a good quality provided by Adorable Annie's, but it's not any better than the local competition that are at lower price points. In continuation of this study, more secondary data should be collected regarding the profitability of the competitors to find a better price point. Data should also be collected from the females aged 18 to 29, whose results were considered unhelpful for the purpose of the data sorting. All in all, Adorable Annie's has a lot of potential, but more research needs to be gained in order to make it a more effective business model. Thank you for listening to my presentation.